All righty, folks. One of the conversations I had to have this week was with Dustin and Jonathan from Convoy Home Loans about interest rates. Last week, we were talking about 8%. Now we've got a weak CPI and a weak PPI and all this other stuff going on. So I'm just curious what's going on in mortgage. How you doing, Jonathan?
I'm all right.
All right. Dustin, how are you?
Good, thank you.
So Dustin, we'll go to you first. What's going on in the market? Seems like we're now sub 7%, I think, as of yesterday.
Yeah, it was quite the big change in forecast, at least for us in the industry, on where rates might be headed in the next couple months. Obviously, with inflation at 3 and core at 4.8, I think, right?
4.8.
Four. Um, if you want to know where rates are gonna, be headed, you just got to look at what the market thinks in regards to the Fed's doing more or less in regards to rate hikes, pauses, or cuts, right? Because
Yep.
the Feds are going to keep beating that drum that we need 1, 2 more rate hikes, right? But the market right now doesn't believe that. And when I say market, it's your traders and economists. So whatever the sentiment is, that's where you can kind of point to where I guess rates will be headed. We always don't know, and we say that with caution. I'm still in a position of, if you like it, lock it right now. But
Absolutely.
I could argue that the stance for most people in the industry, at least loan officers or loan professionals, is we're at a point where we could probably float it now a little bit. We're not as in upward, trajectory.
I think it's pretty interesting, Jonathan. I think it's fair to say that the smart money is definitely pricing in a July increase, right? I think that's roughly 2 short weeks away. I disagree with the move, but I'm not asked for my opinion, so I think it's going to go up. Where I'm going with this is I think that's already baked into rates. I think if the Fed goes up a quarter, like we've seen past months, mortgage rates could go down, right? It's possible mortgage rates go down, right? I think the quarter is already baked in. What do you think?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility that that happens, but this is all we're always talking about hypotheticals, right? And things change
Of
week
course.
over week.
Yeah.
We wake up one day and the bond is like crazy high. The next day it's low. I think even though we're talking about like rates going up and down, we're not talking about like, and this is to clarify, like we're not talking about major swings up or down in terms of like, well, major swings up, not major swings down though. Like whenever it comes down, it's like coming down from an elevated point, right? So, the rates, yeah, I mean, we're like rates might come down, but will they come down to the point where people all of a sudden there's an increased demand to fill? Like not, I don't think so. If they do a quarter of a point decrease on the federal funds rate or sorry, quarter point increase on the federal funds rate, then I don't know if that'll necessarily mean that rates will come down from like 6.8 on a conventional loan down to like a 6.3, right? That's not what's going to happen.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear we're at or close to the terminal rate. One more. There's talk of 2, although I think the odds of the second one is greatly diminished. I think in the Fed meeting on the July, if they come out with a quarter point, they're going to be, we're data dependent. They're going to be a little softer. I think today they're all just super hawks. So I think the market reacted and would push rates up to 7.2 or whatever it was last week. The data is clearly coming in favorable. It would not shock me to get the quarter and a dovish presser and Q&A and mortgage rates fall. That's my opinion, not yours. But we've seen it before. We have historical precedents. The Fed raises and mortgage rates fall. We've seen it several times over the last year. Right, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I always tell clients, it's not what are the Feds going to do, because the market most of the time, at least over the last 2 years, knows what they're going to do. It's when there's a surprise that comes,
Exactly.
whether it's pausing or in this case, lowering, which they're not going to do. But a lot of it comes from just the commentary, the presser, the Q&A. If there's a dot plot during that meeting, that's
Right.
what the market, they don't necessarily look at, oh, they raised a quarter point. Everybody knows that. So it is built into the rate sheets already. It is built in to most non-QM lenders' rate sheets as well.
Yeah. Well, it's never boring, folks. This is why we love talking to you guys each week. I appreciate it. If somebody wanted to reach out and see if Convoy could help them, how they doing that?
Go to convoyhomeloans.com and let us know you came from where at.
Yep. Tell them you came from ORET. You get one of these 2 fine gentlemen. If you don't, can't promise who you're going to get. It's that simple. Thanks, guys.